was on the lexicon as paripkari vritti. I thought this should be paropkari, and I looked up the lexicon itself to define the word paripkari, and I found that it says there is no such word. Look again. I make this point to show that, of course, I could write in and point out that there is a slight error here in the lexicon. It's the beauty of this lexicon that it's interactive, that the reader is not just a sort of passive receptor of information. He's also got a way of sort of communicating with it. So, in that sense, I see it as illustrating the Ratibai's continual endeavor to combine, to change, to keep up with the latest things, and at the same time maintain what is best in our own culture. Again, as a historian, one is very aware of the fact that we are all aware, in our own circumstances here today, of the fact that languages are also associated very much not only with this theme of stability and change, but also with the theme of purity and corruption. As I said, some of the first lexicons were devised to to pinpoint and correct the imprecision or wrong use of language. So this theme of purity is very much associated very often with lexicons. I see on consulting, looking up sort of web pages on the Gujarati language, that they attribute one of the first Gujarati grammars to a Jain scholar, and he called it upper branch grammar. In other words, Gujarati was seen as a corruption of the purity of Sanskrit. That these corrupt languages had grown up. So this theme of corruption and purity is also very much associated with lexicons, languages, and so on. But of course, this is a theme which also has all sorts of political and social resonances. Maintaining purity of a language, it can become something, well, sometimes rather dangerous thing. The maintenance of purity, the maintenance of the corruption, removing corruptions. One of the things about Gujarati is how rich it is in its borrowings, because Gujarat itself is at the crossroads of commerce, because it is now part of what historians are beginning to make us think of as the Western Indian Ocean, which would include Gujarat, the eastern coast of India, the Persian Gulf, the Red Sea, the eastern coast of Africa. All these countries are similar in lots of ways, and and they've been engaged in commerce, trade for many centuries. And therefore, just as Kiswahili in Kenya is got a sort of Bantu base with a mixture of Arabic, Farsi, Portuguese, the same way Gujarati too is freighted with all these other borrowings from all these other languages, which is what gives it its richness. But from time to time, one can hear cries of the purity of Gujarati. You read it of all these foreign accretions. And this is a theme which concerns me a little. Partly, it's mentioned by I'm myself an Ismaili. I was born in an Ismaili family in Kenya. My father was a great lover of Gujarati language and literature. The house was full of Gujarati books, periodicals. I remember subscribed to Kumar, to Fulchab, all these magazines, and I grew up in an atmosphere of Gujarati culture. I even went to, with my father's encouragement, I went to Sanskrit classes after school. Sanskrit was not taught in the schools in Kenya. But after school, I went to classes to learn Sanskrit. So I feel very much part of Gujarati culture. If I've been able to, my basic identity, as we now call it, was shaped by Gujarati. And if I've been able to contribute anything, I'm sure part of that is owing to what I received from this kind of culture. So I would certainly fight to sort of preserve Gujarati as being just as much part of my heritage as anybody else's. But I raise this theme because it has sort of contemporary resonances and so on, and we can't keep them completely out. But let me, I'm sure we've got a speaker who has thought very deeply on many of these issues, and you'll be hearing much more about this from Bhikubai, who always has something fresh, interesting, novel to say about these things. So let me just conclude by saying that how grateful I am for the opportunity to say a few words in praise of Ratibai's endeavors. Tandari family, of course, very well known in Kenya for its innovations in industry, its generosity, its beneficence, its philanthropy, and this is the Lexicon is another sign of the way in which these qualities are reflected in Ratibai's own life and work. Thank you very much.